Hey guys, we are just waiting for Cassie to get some technical difficulties figured out, but you are hopefully at the right link. And I got my hair blown out today, so I look really good for this live training, which I'm pumped about. But we will be with you hopefully shortly. Thanks. Oh, hi. Hi. Wait, hold on. Why can't I hear? Can you hear me? Oh, everybody unmute your mics.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. And we just wanted to do this training just to kind of give some people and some insight into different people's tactics that they use to run their business and manage their time and incorporate it into their lifestyle. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk to Nicolette kind of about how she manages her time being a full-time stay-at-home mom of two girls, like under two, pretty much. Um, and the nonsense of that because I have one and I don't even know how you would even start to do that because Mac goes to daycare. So just talk a little bit about how you manage your time and want to, like, any tips that you want to give to anybody else.
Yeah. I think it was Krista who talked about like setting alarms on your phone like by the hour of like what you should do for that hour. I've started to do that because for a little bit I will like be honest, it was a little hard, of course, adjusting and kind of like getting used to it and getting a schedule going. But now, like with the alarm set, it's a whole lot easier because I'm not checking my phone as much. Like I'll just do it on the hour for like a little bit, and then I'll go back, and then the next hour will come, and I'll do specific things. Um, and like when my youngest takes a nap, I use that time to also like go on and unfollow people and do like the followers for Instagram. I'm trying to really work Instagram right now. And of course, I'll give my oldest the iPad for just a little bit because I mean it helps, whatever works, just to keep her occupied. And then, but honestly, like I think Krista kind of saved me big time with using the hour by hour alarm clock. That has helped me get organized like tremendously because in a sense I'm honestly not very organized. I like work good and clutter, but I've seen that being organized like this has helped a lot.
So, like,
Um,
what is like a typical, like, run through like five alarms on your phone? Like you said, the
okay,
one that's like make a post, or is it like
yeah.
12, 100 people, or what?
Okay, so at 9, 11, 1, and 5, I try to do like a before and after. I've tried to stay really consistent on, doing before and afters. And then around 1 o'clock, I like to try and make a post. Um, Typically, I usually do one in the morning too, like when I wake up with my girls, and then I'll also do another post at 11, like a lifestyle post. And then around, like after the 1 o'clock when I post a before and after at 2, I like to go on and do the unfollow because that's usually when my youngest will take a nap around those times. Go on and follow and unfollow. And then I save my later, like evening alarms to cold message people because I need to, like I try to save my messaging for later in the day when people are getting home from work when I know they're more likely to answer and be on their phone. So just on the hour, like literally on the hour.
Yeah, that makes sense. One thing that I've done that's really helped is I've tried to wake up earlier. It doesn't always work, but Mac sleeps really late. I mean, for a baby, so she sleeps from like, if I put her to bed at 9, she won't wake up till 9.
Yeah.
And so if like I'll try to wake up at 8 and at least like get like 100 followers in from Crowdfire and make a morning post before like she gets up, because then all the chaos ensues until I actually drop her off. So
Right.
that's something that's really helped me with time management too. And Anna, like you have like a completely opposite lifestyle as far as like you don't have kids yet. You don't like stay at home. You actually have like a full-time gig that you have to like get up, get dressed, go to, and you know, how do you manage that and also incorporate that into it works? Like, do you talk about it works a lot at your job, or do you tend to like separate the two?
Well, I was at a salon. I worked at Ulta a couple months ago, and since they sell skincare, I wasn't really allowed to talk about it there.
Right,
So
right.
I didn't really take it to work then, but and I wasn't allowed to have my phone, so I couldn't be like sitting around on my phone all day. So like I would, you know, when I had a 15-minute break or whatever, I would sit back there and be posting or messaging people, or you know, just getting in, messaging people back, getting in whatever I could in that 15 minutes. But now I'm at a more laid-back salon, so I have a lot more time to be on my phone. So I try to post or cold message people or follow up with people as much as I can when I'm just sitting there and not doing much. So when I have the time, I'm trying to work it. And I haven't really like tried to bring it up to my clients yet because I haven't been like in that habit because I wasn't able to before.
Right.
I'm gonna like bring in my blitz cards and all that and just leave it sitting there because I feel like a lot of people ask me because I have like the girls I work with and stuff asking me about it all the time, but I don't really talk to my clients about it a whole lot yet.
Right, right. So basically you don't have like an organized schedule of like when you do your post or whatever. It's just kind of day by day.
Yeah, because I mean I don't know when I'm gonna like have a client or not have a client or have
Right.
free time, so it's hard for me to like set alarms because I don't know what I'll be doing at that time.
Right. So how do you try and stay consistent? Do you do a lot of planned post?
I really don't. I tried to use Buffer for a while, and then I just like, I don't know, would just forget about it. So I don't really do a whole lot of planned posts, and I try to post like 3 to 5 times a day, and I don't always do that, but I'm not doing anything. I'm still messaging people or
Right.
following up with somebody. You know, I'm never not doing anything.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Cassie, when you were doing hair full time, how did you do it?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I haven't been talking because I didn't know if you could hear me or not. No, I was the exact same way when I did hair. It's very like you might be at the salon from 9 to 5, but you might have clients.
Uh-oh, hold on. You're breaking up. Is anybody else?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you for like
Couldn't
5
hear.
No. You're toast, man. Cassie.
And it's not working.
Oh, wait, hold on. No.
My computer sucks, y'all. I don't
Okay.
understand.
Okay, keep going. So you were doing hair
Hey,
from 9 to 5.
Hey, girl.
Oh, hey!
Hi. It's like lagging. Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Maybe just go slow. Should I talk really slow?
No.
Just like that.
Okay. So if you can't hear me, just stop me and FaceTime me or something, and I'll do it on the phone.
Okay.
Okay, so it's working now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at my salon, how it worked was, you know, I might be there from 9 to 5, but there might be like, you know, if there was a time slot where I had a break from, I don't know, 12 to 1 and I didn't have a client, I could still get a walk-in, and 9 times out of 10, I would get a walk-in, like a haircut or, you know, color, somebody that called in and wanted a last-minute appointment. So even if I thought that I had a planned break in the morning, half the time it never ended up being a break. I actually would be like, there would be days where we worked on Saturdays and it was so busy, and I know you could probably relate to that.
Yeah.
Saturdays are so busy at the salon, and so there were just, it's hard being a hairstylist and working this business, but it's simple. But I would take those breaks, like if I had a client processing or I would had an assistant shampoo for me, and I'd go to the back and I'd like make my post or respond to messages, or if there were days where I really did have breaks and we had a slower day, I would take advantage of it and just like message like crazy and really try to work my business with intention, because you as a hairstylist, most hairstylists work 5 days a week. So typically we have Sundays and Mondays off, at least in my experience. And so it was a lot easier, I don't think I ever really planned my posts whenever I was working, because like Anna said, I never knew when I was going to be free, and I didn't really use buffer or anything like that. I tried to be very consistent as far as like purposefully posting them myself. But yeah, I mean, if there were times where I had breaks, I would try to plan stuff, but I really didn't do that because you just never know what your schedule's going to look like, to be honest. But yeah. One
thing that I did when I worked full-time that helped was, and I honestly still do this now, it got to the point where I saw, like, once people could copy and paste posts, that like everybody would have the same status that like same day, because it was like one really good post and a lot of people would copy it.
Right.
And so what I started doing was, if I really liked a post, I would just copy it and put it in my notes. So that way I had like a lot of options to choose from if like I felt like, oh, well, I could use this 2 weeks later, and everybody, it's not like the same thing as popping up 25 times on everybody's news feed, especially if you have
literally what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though that's not necessarily like it's not like pre-planning it like time-wise, it's actually setting yourself up to make it doesn't take you as long to make that post, so you don't have to write out a whole thing. And that's the way that I found. And then I do like what other people do. I try to like on the like one day, like today, what I haven't done it yet, but when I got like a blowout, like I should go in like every room of my house and just like take pictures, so that I have some, because I never like have selfies on my phone. I don't know if anybody saw the picture I posted today of like me and my glasses. That was from like 9 months ago, probably. Like, no joke. I like found it on my phone. So that, like, just stuff like that, I think can really help, because I know there's a lot of times when I find like I have something really good that like I want to say, but I don't have a picture to go with it, and I don't want to just like post like a picture of nothing or like a picture of the product, because not many people are going to read it if it's not a good picture. So that's something that I did to help. And like, what's one thing that you wish you would have known like when you first started out? And I don't mean this as like, Erin or Cassie didn't do a good job training you.
No, I know.
I mean like one thing that like wisdom-wise that you wish you would have known about what you're doing now, and that advice you could give to somebody just starting out.
Honestly, it would probably be, like, you see a lot of people saying don't compare yourself, like, your journey to others, and that probably would be my choice, because in the beginning, like, that's all you do is you're like, I'm not, especially when you sign up at the same time as somebody, you're like, well, I'm not doing as good as this person, or I'm not doing as good as this person, like, what are they doing I'm not doing? And that was, like, my biggest thing, is I was just always comparing myself to somebody else, and, like, well, why can't I do this when they're doing this?
Right.
Everybody's going to do it their own way. Whatever works for you may not work for someone else. So definitely don't compare yourself to someone else.
Yeah. What about you, Nicolette?
I think this is a tough question, because like looking back for me, I feel like I've grown in so many different ways, just because like, following people and like you learn a lot of new things. But like if I could go back from starting from day one, if like I was starting out then, and I would tell myself to definitely like talk about the business more when I'm out and about. I think sometimes I I'm like, it's crazy, but like in some sense I'm kind of like really, really shy when it just comes to random people. Like, and I don't know, maybe it's I'm not confident enough yet, or maybe just different things. But like I see people when they blitz, I'm like, damn, like I wanted to blitz her, and then I literally go home and I go crazy about it because I'm like, oh my god, I like just want to blitz that person, and I'm so mad at myself for not doing that. So I just like would love to go back and start from day one, like knowing how effective blitzing is, and just like, and not even just like, you know, just going casually talking to them like, hey, have you heard about that crazy rap thing? You know, something so simple, but I literally make it so hard.
I do the same thing. Like, honestly, today I was at Starbucks for like 3 hours, and there was the cutest girl in there. And I was, oh my god, I really want to blitz her, but I also look so horrible. Like, I look like a hot mess, and I was like, she probably is not going to even take me seriously. I have like baggy sweatpants on. Like, I was like too embarrassed. But like, typically, what is a really good icebreaker for me, if anybody, like, for anybody out there that has kids, like, Mac is so friendly. And one time when we were getting her ears, I had to get some new earrings for her, and I blitzed the girl who was like doing like her earrings because she was like, oh, she's so cute, blah blah blah. And I was just saying, like, yeah, you know, I'm so glad I get to spend more time with her because, you know, I just like quit my job, and like it just like went into it with that. But you just have to find something that is like makes it easier for you. And I know one thing is like, I know it sounds so horrible, but like, if I don't like feel like I look good, it's harder for me to approach people, and so like that's why sometimes I make it a point to like look better when I like go out, in case like I do run into somebody, I'm not like totally embarrassed of like who I am.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, is there anything, Cassie, that you would say?
Can you repeat the question one more time? 'Cause I'm like
that wish that you would had known, or like wisdom that you have gained now that you wish you could like tell your former self, like when you first started.
Let me think. I would probably say consistency. I know that sounds so like
but you probably did that.
What?
Like, you're consistent from day one.
Well, I have been, but, you know, like, whenever, I remember, I think I told you this, and I might have said it on our last hangout, but, you know, when I first started, I was really busy because I was working all the time, and, you know, when I first met with Erin and I asked her, like, you know, what do I need to know? Like, what do I need to do to be successful? And, you know, she broke it down, and my main goal was to post at least 3 to 5 times a day, which I did. But, I mean, obviously my posts then compared to now are very, very different, because I didn't know how to share my adventure. I didn't know how to make my posts personal. It was very like, oh my gosh, like literally it was ad after ad after ad. And like I screenshotted the other day like what someone would see if they saw my first 9 posts before, like when I first started, and it was all quotes. Like there was not one picture of me. It was just quotes. And I was like, what was I doing? And so, you know, I just stress how important it is to, you know, really share your adventure and share who you are, because people really want to get to know you. It's just as much as you want to get to know them. But I would say consistency, because I remember there was a time where, you know, I was being consistent, but I wasn't sharing who I was. And so, you know, I remember texting Erin one day and being like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm posting all the time, but no one's contacting me, and I'm not contacted, like, no one's responding to me, like, I don't understand. And it was because, you know, I wasn't really sharing who I was yet. And, you know, as, you know, time progressed, and she was like, just keep doing it. You're going to learn day after day, and it's going to get easier, and it's going to get better. And then, you know, people are going to get to know who you are, and they're going to see your adventure as you go. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then, you know, that's what I did. And so that's what's gotten me to where I am today. And, you know, we still learn every day how to post differently and how to share who we are through our posts and stuff like that, and how to tell a story. But I would say that for sure, because I think so many people come into this and they're like expecting it to happen overnight. And, you know, I didn't intentionally expect it to happen overnight, but at the same time, I was like not understanding why I wasn't getting good feedback from people. So I would say that for sure, because it's so important to show people who you are and be consistent, because if you're not posting or you're not sharing what this business is doing for you, then people are going to think that, you know, you're not really into it, you know what I mean? And they're not going to want to be a part of it if you're not, like, so excited about it, you know what I mean? Because 99% of why people join is because they are drawn to your excitement, you know what I mean?
Um,
I was
that's kind of like what mine would be. I think I wish that I would have like started taking selfies quicker because I was like not I did not post at all really like before on social media.
yeah.
I'm like at all. Like I mean, I may have posted a couple pictures of Mac because I had just had her. Like she was 5 months old when but like of myself, there were like very few pictures unless people tagged me. And so I kind of was like, oh, I don't know. I used to like make fun of people who took selfies. Like I don't know if I really want to do it. Um, but it really does like shed insight onto like who you are and making people understand that like you are a real person, and not just like a computer behind.
To be honest, like when I'm looking, like when I'm adding people on Instagram or Facebook, mostly Instagram now, but when I'm adding people and I'm trying to interact with them and I'm trying to like, get to know who that person is because I want to know, like if we have anything in common or whatever, and I'm looking at their posts, if I go to somebody who's trying to request to follow me and I look at their profile and I don't see any pictures of them, like I immediately unfollow them. Because like I can't get to know who they are if I just see like pictures of nature or like that's what I used to do when I first started, like before I ever got involved in network. So I was like I never would have followed me because you can't get to know people that way. And so I mean that's one of the first things that I look for honestly is pictures of them or their family or because you can tell a lot through a picture and that's really how you get to know people, I feel like, and it's not always just words.
Yep, and making sure that like you're like getting over what people think about you. Like Nicolette and I were kind of talking about that earlier, just really not worrying. Like, and I kind of put on the facade at first of like, oh, I don't really care, but you still like are looking to see like, did I lose any followers? Like, how many people? You know what I mean? Like, how many of my friends actually aren't following me anymore? And so like, but I just wish that I literally didn't care and didn't let that affect what I was doing. And I mean, to some extent, like you still care today. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't care at all, but I know that what I'm doing is my page doesn't look like an ad. Like I'm not inconveniencing anybody by being their friend. They're not like if I have a before and after picture, they can scroll through it. It's not going to kill them. They post some things that I don't like either, but I still scroll through it. It doesn't mean that I don't respect other people's hustle if they have their own jewelry or if they do their own thing. So I think that just like maturing in that sense and not caring so much about, what I thought other people were going to think of me and just did it. It would have allowed me to like move forward faster. And I wish that I could make some people think that way. But it's so hard to convince people to do that.
I think it's also part of like the excuses in this business, like if I could look back, another thing I would tell myself is like don't make excuses because like, there's some things where just people make excuses for anything and I'm like, you know what, like I'm just making an excuse for myself, and that goes with like, being worried about like annoying people because, a lot of the people, like I've been asked several times like how do you get over like being worried about annoying people, and at this point I was like, you know what, because I'm more knowledgeable about it. Like I know I'm going to have supporters and I'm going to have haters, and like my post the other day I was like, thank you for all my motivators, but thanks for all the haters too because, like in a sense they're still pushing us. Like, I want to look at them and be like, this is what you missed out on, and like it's just like, that post was going around like, like the signs of a rap star, and it's so true. Like you look at it and then you're like, God, what is she posting about? Okay, this is annoying. And then you become intrigued, and it's just like getting over the excuse of like, oh, I'm being annoying. It's just like, it's just another excuse. And we've all been there. Everybody's been there. You start out like that. You're worried about, like you said, am I going to lose followers? Or like, who am I going to annoy? And it's just like, it's just an excuse. And like, I wish I could definitely go back because like probably the first 2 months I was still kind of, worried about it and everything like that, and so I think that's another thing, just excuses, like just get rid of them.
So what is one thing that like each of you, we'll start with Anna because you're first on like my screen. So what's something that like each of you wishes that you did a better job with now?
Um, Probably being consistent with posting. You know, there's days where I kind of wake up late and then I just get into my day and I'm like, oh crap, I haven't made a post yet. So, you know, I would say posting, but even when I'm not posting, I'm still messaging people. So it may not look like I'm doing anything, but I really am still working my business. So I definitely need to get better at being consistent with posting. I probably need to take advantage of Buffer and the Instagram trick of the airplane mode and all that. So definitely need to get better about posting.
Yeah, but it says something too, and that's that you also like it becomes so much of your lifestyle that like you realize like, oh, I didn't post. Like you
Yeah.
don't, like you don't. It's not like that you forgot about it. Like you actually like do it every day, and that's what I've realized. It's like if I don't post, like I feel weird. I'm like I know that I'm missing like doing something because
Right. It's like a routine now.
yeah, exactly.
For sure.
So what about you, Cass?
Mine would be kind of like what we talked about the other day, which would be like tuning into every single phone call that we have. Like I get so excited to listen, to I remember when I first started and I was so excited every Sunday, every Monday, and every Wednesday because I was so pumped to listen to corporate calls, even when there weren't announcements. Like if they just said, have a good week, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like I got so pumped up just like listening to corporate calls. And then, like when I first started, like listening to the Monday call, like listening to other people's stories, like I would legit like cry listening to some of those stories because I'm a feeler, and so like I get emotional about everything if y'all don't know me already. And so like I would just get so pumped to listen to people's stories, and it just motivated me so much because I was like, you know what, if they're, whatever rank they were, I was like, if they can do this, I can do this because I have struggles, and I think my struggles are big struggles, but compared to other people's struggles, you know what I mean? So everyone has their own, moments of, weakness in this business, which, we all deal with it differently, and sometimes you have to deal with, if you have kids and you have like a soccer game or, something to go to that night, those calls are always recorded, but I cannot tell you when I first started how motivated and how just inspiring listening to those phone calls were, and the trainings that we have, like things like this, or just listening to how different people work their business or their story, the team calls that we have, listening to other leaders and how they've gotten to where they are. I love it, and it just fires me up, and it makes me want to go out there and push twice as hard. And so I would say, I've been doing that a lot more this year, and I did it so much when I first started. I never missed a call, and then when the holidays got here, I found myself missing a few of them because I was getting so caught up in doing other things, and I would forget about them, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I remember how fired up I was listening to those. And so I would say, especially for those of you that are new that are watching this, those are so important to stay plugged into, because they will truly, like, there are so many phone calls I could tell you about where somebody would just say one thing, something so simple about what they do or something they've learned that just was drilled into my mind, and that has helped me build my business the way that I have, because I've listened to so many things and picked up on different things from different people, and it's helped me so much. So I would definitely say that.
What about you, Nicolette?
I was about to school thing. Like,
Oh, what's like something you wish you did a better job of now?
blitzing.
Oh, blitzing. Yeah. So, it's like muffled.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was talking to my girls about this last night when we were doing our Zoom, and like I even made it a resolution of mine for this year, like I really want to become better at blitzing, because I think for me, like, yes, I have built, literally my business from social media, but I know that there's more than that, like we are given these different outlets, parties, blitzing, social media, and I want to utilize every different, aspect and outlet. And so for me, like I said, like I want to challenge myself to, go out and blitz, and like not be scared. Like literally, I can't even tell you how many times I said, like, how many times I've come home and been like, God, like, why didn't I blitz her? And then it just eats at me.
Right.
So I just want to like get over like that. I mean, it's a fear. Like I get way too nervous. Like if I had a glass of wine, no problem, I would go talk to everybody. But it's just like the jitters, like I just need to get over it and just go. And like, especially if it's like, you know, I just don't, like you said, just you find something that like, you know, just how it just easily flows into the conversation. Um, and I really love like the tip when Megan was doing her push, how like she says, you know, how she'll tell them like I only have one coupon on hand, but I have it on my phone. I can text it to you. Like I loved that tip. So you know, just definitely blitzing. I literally cannot stress that enough. Like I'm really bad at that, and so it's something I really, really, really want to work on.
Yeah, I hear you on that, especially since like I'm going to be like home more, not necessarily home, but I'm going to be able to like do more things and interact with more people versus just like the people that were at my job
Right.
now. So I should be able to take advantage more of that. For me, I need to get back to watching YouTube videos. That was like a game changer for me. When I first started, on my way to work, I would listen to Jade Hooper. On my way home from work, I would listen to Jade Hooper, and I would literally like be so fired up to get things done. And just like when I was new, it really helped because it helps when I hear how other people say things, because then it becomes part of like my language and how I can say things and not sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. But you know, the more you start talking about business volume, the more you start talking about you know, the wrap is $59 for 4. We call 1 wrap a treat, 4 wraps a treatment, and like that just becomes like part of your everyday language and how you talk to people. Then you don't sound as nervous when people ask you questions about it, and you sound more confident. So that is definitely something that I want to get back to doing, because it just helped so much for me to stay motivated and to stay focused and to have like that extra inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Cassie, is there any questions that you wanted to ask?
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask Anna a few questions. And I mean, Nicolette, you can kind of go, like, we're going to go kind of back and forth. Hopefully, like, it's not stuff that Kelsey already asked you. So what I really like about, like, all of us talking is that me and Anna, like, have a lot in common as far as being a hairdresser. So I'm, like, well, and not even just being a hairdresser, but working full time, which we've all done at some point. But Nicolette, like, you get to stay at home and you have kids, and so it's 2 completely different lifestyles. So it's really cool to like compare how you guys work your business, because you know, your schedules are completely different and your demands are very different. And so that's one thing that I really like, is I just love learning like how people work differently, and how you guys manage time. So, Anna, I guess the first question I'll ask you is how do you manage, which we kind of already talked about this a little bit, like how do you manage your time working full time, especially as a hairdresser, when it comes to like incorporating It Works and your job? Like, can you, like, I know you couldn't at Ulta, but like where you're working now, like, are you allowed, or can you talk to your clients and like talk to people at the salon? You know, how does that benefit you as far as like both businesses? Because I know like whenever I was a hairdresser, like I couldn't talk about it in the salon. It was like big no-no. And so I could talk about it outside though. So like, you know, when I talked to a lot of people like on our team, that helped me with my clientele at the salon, because I got to do a lot of people's hair in the salon. But you know, outside of the salon, like when I told people in public that I was a hairdresser, I could be like, oh, and you know, I own my own business too. And so it's like, how do you incorporate both, and how do you manage your time with both?
I mean, like I said earlier, I just try to post when I'm on a break, or I'm in between clients and just kind of sitting around. You know, I'm on my phone, like posting or messaging somebody back, or sending out a couple of messages to people I haven't reached out to.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to say something, and now I lost my train of thought.
Okay. Me all the time.
Oh my God, I really can't. Oh, I just signed up one of my coworkers as a loyal customer. So, I mean, this is kind of like not really incorporating it, but kind of. So
Yeah.
I was like talking to her about it in front of like all the other girls I work with, and they were asking me about it and like asking how much money I make, because everybody wants to know. And I just was like, I didn't like say an amount, because I don't want to be like that open about it. But they were like, oh, I see that on Facebook, and I didn't realize like you guys actually make money from it. And, you know, a lot of people, like, don't really think, like, that it's something real, I guess you could say. They didn't really think that I was benefiting in any way from it. And so to be able to, like, say, like, it's something real and it's helped me in a lot of ways. And
Yeah,
really
go
good.
off that. Yeah, to go off that, one of the most eye-opening things that happened to me was at my job, when I was at the bank, I didn't really talk about the products. I mean, I had a couple customers that were employees that had like seen it on Facebook, but not because I like went up and mentioned it to them.
Right.
And some of the girls were like asking me about it finally, and they asked me, "Do you not talk about it because you don't believe in the products?" And I was like, oh, I can't believe that like I came across that way to them, because like my whole thought was like I don't really want to like annoy them. If they see it on Facebook, then they'll, you know, come to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna like go up to them and be like, hey, you know, have you seen my post? Like, are you interested in anything? Whatever.
Right.
Because I didn't want to make them feel like obligated to do anything. But really, what they thought was that I wasn't talking about it because I didn't want them to try it and have a bad experience.
Right.
So like it was really eye-opening to me because I never even thought about it like that. But if I were to go back, I definitely would have like mentioned it to them and like brought it up and talked about it, because it's of course not that I don't believe in the products, because I do 100%. It was for something totally different, but you just kind of have to like keep that in the back of your mind, is like you don't want anybody to ever think that you don't believe in what you're doing. And the only way that you do that is by telling them that. It's by being passionate and always talking about the stuff when you can, when it's not going to get you fired from your job, you know. But when you can, like, bring it up and just find ways to bring it up. And I think that even something as small as, yeah, one of the girls that I work with, and then people are like, oh, I thought you didn't work. And then I'd be like, well, I do work. I just stay at home and work. And then you can, like, go into it from that. So it's like, it's just super easy to find your own way to go into it, but it's important to make sure that you are talking about the products.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this question is going to be for both of y'all. So
I'm going to text you if you ask the same question that I already asked again.
What?
Oh. The last question that you asked was the one thing I asked already.
Oh, what advice?
No. Go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of like incorporate too. If you've already asked it, then I'm really sorry.
Okay. If I've already asked it, you'll have to come up with a different question.
Okay, I have another question, so it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so what, because both of your lifestyles are so different, you know, Nicolette, you have kids and you get to be stay at home, which is amazing, and you know you work full time, and you don't have kids yet, so we're very like much the same as far as like Kelsey and Nicolette both have kids too, and now are both full time, which is awesome. What advice would you guys give to maybe newer people who are just starting out? Because whenever I was new, I don't have kids, and so you know I looked up to so many different leaders, and I was like, okay, how do I start making my posts personal and sharing my adventure if I don't have kids? Like, I didn't get it. Like, it didn't click with me. I didn't know how to really share myself and share my story and, you know, tell people who I was, and make my life seem fun. You know, that positivity that you're drawn to. I didn't really know how to put that into words or into a picture, because I felt like I couldn't, because I didn't have kids. You know what I mean? So what do you...
Let me tell you something, because I was thinking about this the other day.
Okay.
I wish sometimes that I could have the lifestyle people didn't have kids have. Because you could go on so many more effing adventures. Like, seriously, with kids, like, you're limited. Like, what are we going to go to, like, some Chuck E. Cheese and, like, take pictures and, you know, do that? Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky because we get to go to Brian's basketball games, which is, like, an easy, free thing to do. And it's, you know, fun to post about. Mac loves it, so it's easy. But, like, it's amazing to me, like, when people, like, say, oh, I don't have kids. Like, it's hard for me to post. Like, that. It's easier. What are you talking about? Like, but everything you do, and Erin even it was probably like 2 months ago, said something to me, and she was like, I just share the heck out of my adventure. And I just got to thinking, like, I mean, she does. She literally takes picture of everything that she's doing, which like people love to do. Like I never get sick of seeing Finn. Maybe Kyle, but not Finn. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it just really like I've started to really try and incorporate that too into my life. So I think that that's a bad excuse or thing for people to say that they don't have as much adventure or much stuff to post about if if they don't have kids. But Anna, you can talk about it.
What?
Is it? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It like cut out when she said my name. There like I use the products on a daily basis, and like I will use something like drink my greens, and I'm like, wow, I could have taken a picture of that and posted it. So definitely like, because I really don't go on a whole lot of adventures, and I don't have kids, so I can do that, but I seriously don't. I don't do anything. So just like taking a picture of products you use on a daily basis, or taking a picture of like anything, and just trying to incorporate it with It Works, or like It Works helped me get my Jeep, so sometimes I'll post pictures of my Jeep, because It Works helped me get that, so why not put it out there? So, and I love it anyways, but so definitely like I post about my products I use. But my advice would just be like be consistent. You don't always have to post before and afters. You don't even have to post about It Works. Just you want it to be personal, so you don't want your page to be blowing up people with stuff about It Works. So just posting pictures of like you and friends, and not even mentioning It Works, would help to not make it look like you're so all about that, and not. You know what I'm
saying. All right, Nicolette, what's your answer?
Okay, this is, I'm gonna say the exact same thing because the question's kind of the same, but like I want to go to, okay, so like if you're a new distributor starting out, like you said, and like I think like going back, if I would start all the way over, or like when my new like distributors sign up, I now, like, one of the biggest things I stress, because I literally had no clue about this when I first started for, like, maybe until, like, November or December, and it's, like, it's nobody's fault but mine. Like, I have everything written in front of me. I didn't read about it, you know what I mean? So it's, like, it's only my fault that I didn't use it, but the referral program, like, I am so big on that nowadays, like, so big. Like, that's, like, my favorite thing. Like, I try to stress the heck out of it. So, like, not only do I try to use it a lot, but I tell my girls, like, all my girls are really trying to take advantage of that, and I tell, like, all the new people, like, hey, this is huge, this is an easy way, like how Dustin posted, other people are doing the business for you, it's a whole clientele that you wouldn't have been able to reach to, you know what I mean? Like,
so
one of my girls,
like what the referral program is, just real quick. Can you explain it real quick?
Oh yeah, so when a loyal customer signs up, and in their first 30 days, they can refer anybody to go through their landing page and sign up as a loyal customer to try any product, and that person will get 35 perk points or a free box of wraps. And so it's like unlimited, and for each person they can do that. So literally it's somebody else doing your work for you. It's the easiest source of BB. Easiest. But like last month, one of my girls, some guy found her on Instagram, and he was like, he missed BOGO, and he was super bummed, but he still became a loyal customer anyways. And she was like, well, and he was like, oh, did I miss BOGO? And she was like, yeah. She was like, but wait a minute, like, you can still get a free box of wraps. And he was like, how? And she was like, told him, like, the referral program, like, for every person you refer, like, I'll give you a free box of wraps. And I think, like, one of the biggest things we talk about, too, is you want to word it to, like, that you're doing it, like, as a service to them, not the company, but, like, you're doing it for them, everybody loves something free, and especially, if you're doing it for them as, like, a courtesy. And he ended up signing his 3 sisters. So like she got all of them as customers, and he got, you know, all those boxes of wraps for free. You know, so I think it's something that's definitely like a huge part of like what I tell new people these days, and something that I definitely wish I took advantage of from the very get-go, like big time. And I actually, for the first time tonight, I used the tip that Dustin gave us, you know, to have like one of your loyal customers, if they'll post it on their page, like she just did it for me tonight, and I think that's another great thing. Like that's an amazing tip that he shared with all of us. Like I'm so excited to see like what happens and everything.
Yeah.
A little off topic, but I just wanted to get, you know,
Yeah.
that's a huge thing, I think.
Yeah. So that basically his tip was, for anybody who didn't know, but his tip was every time you get a new customer, ask them to post for you and say like, hey, I just you know, bought this, and anybody who wants to click this link can purchase it too, and then he will, what he does, like send them a wrap, I think.
No, he just has them put it on their page. Like they become a loyal customer, and like for my girl, she just put like, hey, my friend Nicolette is looking for 5 people to fill her 90-day tester spots by tomorrow. And then I just sent her a picture of the wrap, and then she tagged me in it, and that was it.
Yeah, so easy.
Super simple.
Yeah, super simple. And it's just like one extra step that could get you a lot of other customers.
Yeah, and it's something I never thought of. Like, yeah. I'm so happy for that tip.
Right. And I probably never would have thought of that.
Me either.
And one thing to do is if you do start getting like a lot of tags, you can hide it from your timeline, so it's not like blowing up your timeline too. Last thing, and then we probably might be done unless Cassie has any urgent questions that she wants to ask. Oh, and everybody see my t-shirt.
Oh my god, I love that.
Anyway, so one thing I did want to talk about was the before and afters. So a lot of people kind of have gotten away from posting before and afters, I think, just because they do want to make their Instagram look clean, and I totally understand that. And I actually delete my before and afters within like a day of posting them, because at that point nobody's really gonna see them by scrolling. So, but it's so important to still post before and afters, because that is how you get loyal customers. And if you don't, you will see a decline in loyal customers for yourself that you enroll. I noticed it for myself. Like, I got away from posting it because I was really working on building my Instagram, and I didn't want to make it, look like spam, so I didn't want to post before and afters. And then when I finally have recently started, like, I have seen like so much more interest go, people coming to me about being a customer, just reminding people of what the products are and what we have and everything like that. So that's something that I definitely think that we need to stay consistent about, is posting before and afters, because I do feel like a lot of people have gotten away from.
I think people have gotten away from it too, because I feel like people are like terrified to post them and like annoy people. But like, let me tell you something, you guys. When I joined, one of the reasons why I reached out to Erin, which I wasn't immediately, I didn't reach out to her about the business opportunity. I reached out about Defining Gel because she posted it before and after, and I was at a point where I was looking for something like that product that I needed, because I was insecure and I had, I had cellulite and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, like, I need that. And had she not posted that picture, like, I probably never would have, reached out to her, and then I probably never would have joined the business either. But it's so important, because there's so many people out there who need things, like, to aid them, like products that we have, and you're showing them what our products do, and that's what grabs their attention. So you just have to remember that.
And I think, too, to remember, like, that when you're posting, to use a variety of different body types, because people reach out to you when they see, like, their body, basically, like, when they see somebody who looks like them and they want to look like, it's not, like, to me, if I saw somebody who was extremely overweight that lost, like, 150 pounds, I wouldn't look at that and be like, oh, I want that to be me. But if I saw somebody who, like, had lost some love handles and tight and toned and firm, and didn't have as much overhang on the side like I have, then I would feel like, oh, I would be more likely to reach out to that person, because it's like, oh, well, that looks like what my body would look like if I did the wrap, or what I would want my body to look like, or the eyes, or whatever. So like, it's just important to think like, oh, just because you posted a picture of what defining gel looked like on this person doesn't mean you shouldn't post it on what the results were on a different person if they have different body types. So
I think it also, for me, I mean, I'm sure somebody probably can relate, but it's also like a balance. So like when you're first starting out, for me, like I was, posting constant before and afters, because volume, like that's what I was thinking, volume. And then, like after a couple months, I was like, okay, like I'm strictly looking, for, lives to change and people to join my team. And so like literally for like maybe November and December, I was very awful at posting before and afters, and I think I had a conversation, I think with you and maybe Aaron about, and also too, and I was just like, you know what, like I reverted back to, the before and afters. Like starting January, I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like last month I signed, I only got 3 loyal customers, and like how am I supposed to lead by example, and feel my steps to success for my team, you know what I mean? And so I was like, what was I doing in the beginning? And it was posting 3 times a day of the before and afters, trying to post, in different ones, not a wrap every time, like, defining gel, hair, like facials, energy, like, different things. And like this month, I've had 8 new customers come on just because I reverted back to, like the before and afters. So I think it's like trying to find a good balance of like, yes, you want to find people's lives to change, but also incorporating, the before and afters, like, doing both, not just one. Like, I was hugely at fault for that myself, and obviously, like, I saw a big dip, so just kind of goes back to if it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Like, use what's in place. Like, people are successful for a reason in this company, and, like, they literally have it written out for us of what to do, Simple. So.
Any last things that anybody wants to add? No?
Not really.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, also, if anybody who's watching this wants to message any of us for like topics that they would like training on, or things that they would like us to go over for next like time we do something like this, and we'd love to get feedback like that, or anything that you would like different, because that would be really helpful, because we want to help you guys as much as we can, and if we know what to help you with, that's going to help us both reach our goals. Probably said help like 17 times right there. All right, guys. Hope everybody has a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.